such a special day for the Empower Women Summit. I'm here with my soul sister, Jessica Shakir. So happy to have you. Jess, you've taught me so much in the time we've known each other. This is really amazing to have you. Thank you.
Wow. I am honored. We were soul sisters before we ever met. I wanted to meet you. Then when we met, it was on the streets of Jerusalem, a beautiful sunshiny day. And I was in Israel for the first time and we got introduced and I knew who you were right away. And I started telling you how much your film meant to me. And I remember you being like, oh, hi girl, I just met. Like,
It's amazing. Look how far we've come. And I mean, okay, let me read your bio, then we'll bring it down. Not everyone knows you yet, but they will. Okay, this is Jessica Shakir. She is incredible. She's a beauty and faith coach, a writer and a speaker, a celebrity hair and makeup artist, and the founder of the Beautiful Mind Academy, where she helps women live aligned, authentic, and fully alive so they can fulfill their God-given assignment on earth. She's married to her wonderful husband, Vincent. I don't think this bio does you enough justice. I'll fill in the gaps. Jess is incredibly talented, multi-talented in the arts. She's just one of the most warm, generous souls I've ever met. I'm really happy you're here. Oh, and she's on the board of the 49%.
Yes.
So thank you, Jess. Okay, we will dive in because, as you know, we don't have so much time. Here's what I want to talk to you about first. What does it mean to be a beauty and faith coach?
Yeah, thank you for starting with that question because I'm sure other people are like, oh, that is interesting. Well, the backstory is I've been a hair and makeup artist for 24 years. I give my age away. I just turned 40. Thank you, Lord. And in that 24 years, I've come to learn so much about what authentic beauty is, what true beauty is, and what beauty is not. And I've learned that we humans get it wrong a lot of times, especially in Hollywood and film and the entertainment industry where I worked for decades. And I remember having conversations with God, Paula, in a photo shoot or while I'm doing makeup and I'm just observing how people interact with beauty, how people chase beauty, how people long for beauty. And then it would make me think, but what are they really chasing after? What is their goal? And I would talk to God about these things like, God, what is beauty? What is your definition of beauty? And I realized I want to live out God's definition of beauty and not cultures. I feel like culture just kind of hijacked this beautiful gift and made it something different. And then, so being in the beauty industry for so long, I realized people don't know the true definition of beauty because they're chasing after something that'll never fulfill them, and I don't mean to be negative, but that was the question that I had in my heart from early on. And so the journey of being a makeup artist and traveling the world with my makeup kit, meeting so many people of every culture and almost 20 different countries that I've been to, which is good for Americans. And I love culture. I love traveling. I love people. I love languages. And my skill, my art of makeup led me to experience so many things. And as I traveled, I realized beauty is defined differently in different cultures. I lived in Japan for almost a year, and beauty there is very different than beauty in Southern California and Los Angeles, and so again, it would go back to what is beauty? We're called to be beautiful, and in every woman's heart, we long for it. We long to be beautiful, whether you're a girly girl or a tomboy, whether you don't even wear makeup. In all the interaction and conversations and questions that I've asked other women, there is this sense of I long to be a part of something beautiful. I long to give beauty to the world and embrace it as well. And so faith and beauty really is faith and beauty coach. I take biblical truth. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. And yes, we are soul sisters, Paula. And I love that we can encourage and edify one another and share our beliefs, but not try to change each other in the process, just love each other in it and where we are. And so I really honor that and I admire that in you. And I thank you for letting me be me. And so, what a faith and beauty coach means to me is I take biblical truth and God's definition of beauty, and I encourage women and show them through even positive psychology, some brain science, some neuroscience that I've just been obsessed with, and how to apply God's definition of beauty to our lives in every area of our lives and live in faith and not let fear make our life decisions for us. So, in short, I teach women how to live beautifully and not just look the part. I know it's a long answer, but
I loved it. I I have to stay professional and not go, off too much. But I have questions that I want to ask you, but I have 42 things I could say in response to that. But I will carry on with the questions, which is that when I have been privileged not only for you to do my makeup, which was so much fun, but I've also watched you do other people's makeup. And what's I would love for you to share what that experience is like, because sometimes I feel like we get it from all ends. It's like if we want to be beautiful and like beautify ourselves, then we're made to feel like we're shallow. But if we don't, then we're made to feel like, well, we're not allowed to take a photo because we don't have lipstick on. And I've
yeah,
seen that fluidity. And I've also seen kind of like a criticism of women who try to beautify themselves. And yet I've seen this magic happen when someone is sitting in your makeup chair. I just
wow,
would love for you to tell a little bit about what that's like.
wow. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm really honored that you said that because I know that makeup isn't just my craft. It's a passion, it's a talent, and it's my ministry. Honestly, it's something that God put in my heart to do. And I found that out at a young age. And I never lost curiosity for the craft of makeup, always learning, even 24 years in, always learning. And I know that makeup is a vehicle that I get to use to reach the heart and soul of a woman. And that is really significant. That is really a treasure for me. And so I don't take that lightly. Every time I have a woman sitting in my makeup chair, by the way, the makeup chair, the conversations that happen there, the touching of the face and the really intimate experience is my favorite part. Not the red carpet Grammys, not the flying around traveling, although I like that. But my favorite part is the conversations that matter that happen in the makeup chair. And here's why, because so many women, they they don't allow themselves to be pampered. They don't allow themselves to take in, even to take in compliments. Do you know how many women I'll compliment and they're like, oh no, this whole thing, oh gosh, you should get your eyes checked or whatever it might be. And a simple shift that we can do right here, right now, today is, and we've had conversations where we caught ourselves where we're like, you know what?
Mm,
Thank you. Thank you for that. That touched my
mm,
heart and I appreciate
mm.
you saying that. Because in receiving a compliment and taking it to heart, we're teaching other women how to do so. So anyway, back to the makeup chair. I love that interaction because they're in the chair. Their only job is to
Yeah.
receive the pampering, the
Mm.
physical touch, the questions. They are being interviewed. I try not to make it sound like an interview, but I just want to know. And getting to know them while I highlight their beauty. I just partner with God and highlight their God-given beauty. And makeup has taught me a lot in life as well because we can look at the things we want to highlight and there are ways to highlight those things. We look at the things that we want to neutralize or hide. Okay, well we can shift our mindset about those things. We can be flawed human beings and still be worthy of being called beautiful, still be worthy of being pursued, still be worthy of being known and being cherished. And we have flaws. Both can coexist. And as a
Love
makeup,
it.
I know how to neutralize those flaws.
I
So
love that.
my heart behind it is I help women look their best and not just look the part, but feel beautiful. And one of my favorite things is when people walk out of my chair, and I work with a lot of men too in male grooming. And when they walk out of my chair, male or female, and they're a little bit taller, they're standing a little bit
Mhm.
taller, they're ready to face global television, a a room full of people that they have to give a speech to, whatever it might be. They're ready because they've been able to receive love and physical touch, and they feel cherished and they feel significant because they are. And so I definitely love to infuse whoever I'm working with, whether a bride, an activist, an author, a celebrity, politicians. I've worked with them all. My heart and goal is to have them feel so confident and so aligned and centered that they go and do what they're called to do. They're
It's
ready.
amazing.
They're like, put me in, coach.
Totally, totally. And I love that feeling too. And you, but it's also your energy that facilitates that. It's not just that you're very good at making a smoky eye. I mean, you really do, you give over your light. So
Oh,
that's another thing I want to talk to you about, which is that you have been public in speaking about an injury, a lifelong injury, which has really thrown a dent in some of your plans. I'll let you speak about it. And I just would love for you to share that story. I think it will touch other people for whom they had one vision of what they wanted to be, and now they might be thinking of another.
yeah. Oh, thank you. I would love to. In 2019, in short, 2019 was my personal 2020. I had a neck injury in January of the year that put me out of commission. And I altogether was in bed rest for about 5 months. I didn't know how serious it was at the beginning. So I feel like I kept trying to push through and faith it and get back to work. Big mistake. Listen to your body. Ladies, listen to your body, give it the rest it needs. I learned that so much from you, Paula, as well. And back back to 2019, I'll make this short. Obviously, I'm not great at short stories, you guys. 5 months of being on bed rest, I couldn't work, therefore couldn't make money. I didn't know if I would go back to my career, my job, my love of doing makeup. At one point, the tears in my discs that happened in my neck set off a slew of degenerative disc disease. So I've been told I have. And at one time, both hands were shaking so much that I had to take one hand to steady the other to fit the spoon in my mouth. I mean, that was one of the low points that I couldn't control my arms. It was affecting my nervous system, and the pain was extraordinary. I couldn't even get away from the pain. I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about, whether physical or emotional pain, that kind of pain where you can't run from that pain. And so, man, that year was a year of endurance. If you break down the word endurance, we see a lot of that word in the Bible, and the word endurance, if you break it down, is to stay under the pressure of. And a lot of people love to run from pressure. I used to love to run from pressure because the backstory of my back and my neck, what led to just my neck feeling like it broke, was I've had severe scoliosis all my life. So nerve pain, muscular pain, tissue pain, all of the things from head to toe. And so I have learned to just suit up and do it anyway. Okay, you're in pain, do it anyway. You gotta do what you're called to do. But to the detriment of listening to my body and giving my body what it needs. And so in that 5 months of bed rest, friend, where my heart was breaking for so many things, including, what if I can't do makeup ever again? What am I going to do? I've been doing that for 2 decades. That's my thing. That's what I love, God. That's how I connect with women. And I'll give you a cute little story that sums up what happened, because in that surrendered place, in that staying under the pressure of, in that growing my endurance, what God was doing was shifting the trajectory of the rest of my life. And this conversation I had with my husband, it was over the phone, and he was in New York for work. I was in bed rest in California. And he said, babe, I've been praying for you, and my heart breaks to see you in so much pain. And my heart breaks to see you not being able to do what you love, babe. You love working with women. You love encouraging women. You love doing makeup. And so I was praying about it. I'm like, Lord, what does she love doing even more than makeup? And he chuckled and he goes, babe, you love talking way more than you love doing makeup. Poor husband. I'm like, yeah, that's true. And he goes, you move in? Why don't you lean into what you know God is calling you to? You keep pushing speaking and writing and coaching and building a community. You keep pushing that back for later. Why later? Why not now? And Paula, that's what happened.
Wow.
God took that pain and he used it to fuel my purpose. And now I get to work with women in an even more intimate way. And the one-on-ones and the intimate coaching that I do, and the large community that I built. We've had one of the virtual events I did, we had 2,500 women from over 33 countries.
Oh
I
my
couldn't
gosh.
that being a makeup artist, one person at a time. And so my love and my heart to see women live beautifully and to accept this gift of beauty that is already in them. If you are alive, it was a decision, a God decision. Yes, a human decision, but a divine decision. So you're here because God wanted you here. And you have this gift of value and beauty in you. It's your birthright. And so I feel like don't chase something that you already have. That's what the enemy wants to get you to believe. He wants to get you to believe that you don't have the very thing that you actually were born with. And so, yeah, friend, that pain, that journey that shifted everything, that changed everything, something truly, really beautiful and powerful came out of that. And so when 2020 happened, I
You were ready.
I I was ready, and I thought, Lord, oh, do that deep work that you did in me, do that deep work in others, because I had my job taken away from me. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't, so 2019 truly was my quarantine, my stay-at-home order. 2020, I was ready to create community and be there for other women, because I know the pain and the fear of having everything taken away from you. And so this year I was able to grow a community and create a safe place for women to grow in their faith, grow in their leadership, and really embrace the gift of beauty that they already embody, so that we can give it to the world and create beautiful things as well.
It's surreal. And watching what you've created, I mean, I've had kind of like a front row seat and I've loved it. And one thing that really I admire about you is that I see the people that you connect with, and they're diverse. They're different socioeconomic classes, different political affiliations. I don't know, lots of different backgrounds. And, one of the things that troubles me in the past couple years has been what I see is a real tribalism and people kind of going to their corners. Um,
Mm.
and I would just love for you to speak about that. Like, how are you able to overcome that? Certainly understanding people's unique stories, but what is a way that you're able to bridge that gap?
Yeah, great question. Needed conversation. I love this.
Mhm.
A prayer of my heart early on that I know that God placed a desire in me for. I started praying over and over and over again, Lord, grow my love for humanity. My love for the Lord was there. And if God is going to work through me to touch his people, to bring joy and peace and love to other people, then I had to get over being impatient with other people. It was a big thing at the beginning. And I'm still working on that. But
Mhm.
this heart, Lord, grow my love for humanity, is something that I have been praying and declaring over my life for decades, for decades. And I see the fruit of that prayer, because he has grown my love for humanity. And from that love of people, of men and women, but my heart is to connect to the hearts of women. That's real. That's why I'm in the 49% too. We're together in that.
Yeah.
And my heart had to change before any of my actions changed, and so we can't be so caught up in the behavior modification, but go deeper and have a heart transformation, so that what is really in your heart comes out of your mouth. What's really in your heart comes out in your actions, and how you interact with people and how you treat people, how you love people. In Romans 12, there's a scripture. It says, outdo one another in showing honor. how beautiful is that? Outdo one another in showing honor, and so that's been in my heart this whole year and a half as well. And I'll tell you, Paula, being a makeup artist for so long, traveling, living abroad, has opened up my heart for humanity, for culture, for languages. And I want to connect so badly with other people that I have a handful of words and phrases that I know in over a dozen languages. I'm not any one language, but my heart is like, make everybody feel welcome. So, I know how to say welcome in Hebrew and Russian and Thai, that you might not normally need to use, but I love it because it's a good icebreaker. And I'll tell you a fun little story as well. So the love of my life, Vincent Shakir, whom I married, Shakir is an Arab name. It's a Muslim name. It comes from the Arabic word shukran, one who is thankful. So our name means one who is thankful, Shakir. And Paula, we were working together on a documentary, and I got to work with one of our soul sisters who is a Muslim. And on our job, it was me, you, and her. We had a Christian, a Muslim woman, a Jewish woman, and it was beautiful. We were all sharing our heart for one another, our heart for women, our heart for faith. And I just remember kind of looking around there and going, oh my gosh, I love this so much. Well, later that night, we went to a film festival. And one of the women who I was working with, I feel like I've told you this story. Maybe I haven't. When I walked up to her, I go, hi, friend. And she goes, Jessica, your name, Shakir. She had seen it on the pamphlet for the film festival.
Yeah.
And I knew what kind of question she had. I go, yeah, I'm Christian. My husband's Jewish, and we have a Muslim last name. Yay! She laughed and she gave me a hug, and she went, I love that. And so I thought, Lord, how cool that even the name you gave me, even the family that I married into, it speaks of diversity, and it speaks of the beauty of when we can come together and love one another. And I feel like even my heart to know as many languages as I can, I trace it back to that prayer, that desire that I really do feel, Paula, is a supernatural, like God wants all of us to embrace that prayer, grow my love for humanity, grow my love for humanity. And I, here's another thing. It doesn't mean that I change depending on who I'm with.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah. And that took a long while too, friend, to realize I'm Jessica for a reason. If people are attracted to me and if people have love for me and care for me, it's because who I am, not who I pretend to be. And so I learned just, in my 30s, really, that it is not just okay to show up fully present, fully you, but it's actually the way to freedom. And it's actually the way to alignment, to being authentic, to feeling and living fully alive, which is really the pillars of my coaching program. So when I walk into a room, I want to show up as my whole self. That means that I don't leave my joy at the door. I don't leave my faith at the door, because if I did, I wouldn't be authentic. And when you're authentic and truly yourself, you attract other authentic people and you grow authentic friendships, because you're not hiding anything from your friend, from your spouse, from your clients. And that was a learning curve for me to know how to do that. And it doesn't mean that I don't have tact and grace. You want to feel the room, and you don't want to come on too strong with whatever it is. At least for me, I want to be able to grow authentic relationships and not push people away. That is never, ever, ever my goal. I want to bring people in and let people know that I do care about their well-being. I care about them. And tying this into my life as a makeup artist, what that has taught me is to see the beauty in other people and not ignore it or hide it, but actually celebrate it. So I love to celebrate people. I love to celebrate the beauty in other women. And that's not that normal, because we've grown up, whatever culture, whatever country you're in. I feel like maybe we could all relate to this as women. We've somehow grown up with, oh gosh, if I compliment or celebrate her too much, that might take away from who I am and my light and my beauty. No, it actually magnifies.
Mm.
And there's freedom when you allow yourself to celebrate other women, their success, their beauty, their tenderness, their blessings, whatever it is that is bright and good and truthful about them. Celebrate that, and it'll come back to you. So those are the things I've given myself permission to show up 100% who I am. And I love people well. I do. I stand by that. I love people well. And I know that that's God through me loving people well, because I know that's what I'm meant to do. And
Yeah.
it feels really good. There's a lot of freedom when you know you're living in a way that you were created to live.
I think it's a bit terrifying though. I mean, I just want to acknowledge that. I think both things are terrifying. One, being unabashedly who you are, and two, not tiptoeing. Because
Yeah.
that sort of feels like that's what's happening a lot nowadays. It's something that I'm certainly struggling with in my own life, is how to show up fully. Um, but I certainly I do sometimes, I second guess myself, self censor, and I'm trying not to, but um, it's scary. Both things are scary. It's all scary. So how do you navigate that? I mean, you are so singularly you. I'm sure you offend people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you're unscathed. Maybe you are. I don't know. I'd love to
Oh,
hear
no.
about that.
And after 2020, nobody is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just like draw the curtains, watch Netflix, talk to only people that agree with you. It's terrifying out there.
Yeah. Yes. And if you know your intention is to love other people, then it gives you more courage. There's a quote, oh gosh, um, there's a quote by Dr. Robert Jeffress. It says, "The certainty of your calling creates courage. The certainty of your calling gives you courage." And so when we can get more certain on who we're called to be and live into that, and know that our job isn't to please people, it's to love people. And to love people, you have to have, well, actually, to love people, you really do have to have beauty in your heart and in your life, and create beauty, because I'll tie this all together with God's definition of beauty. When he created every layer of creation, and he said, the Hebrew word tov was good.
Mhm.
So in our translation in English, it's like, this is good, this is good.
Yeah.
There's this definition, this multi-layer definition to tov, right? And one of the definitions is aesthetically pleasing. It was good, the functionality was good, the design was good, the aesthetic was good. And
Mhm.
God declaring, this is good, this is good, this is beautiful. And so from a biblical perspective, beauty is always tied to two things. It's always tied to goodness and truth. Goodness and truth. And so I, as a beauty and faith coach, I live my life in faith. I make decisions in faith, and I bring beauty wherever I go. I bring goodness and truth wherever I go. That is my goal. That is my desire of my heart. Do I fail? Yes. Do I get back into alignment when I fail? Yes. Do I have a resilience plan in place? Yes. And that plan does not include beating yourself up when you do something,
Mm.
say something that you shouldn't have. It
Right.
includes gracefully coming back to what I know is good and true, and trying again and doing it again. And it is terrifying, Paula. And I'll tell you what, whenever we level up, whenever we step into a new room, whenever we learn something new, whenever we declare that we are going to grow in our faith, grow in our leadership, grow in our confidence and courage, that's all leveling up. And resistance will attack anytime you level up. So you
Mm.
just know, you just plan for that in your resilience game plan. You think ahead, okay, what really could throw me off today? What really could get to me? Okay, well, when that comes, because we live in a fallen world, it's when, not if. When that comes, how would my best self respond to that? How am I going to respond to hate fueled comments? Okay, like I have a plan ready, not a plan,
Mhm.
but plan of being. Who am I going to be? Not just what am
Right.
I going to do? And so anytime, especially when I'm with different, when I'm with people who I know believe differently, and I'm called to speak or share, and I'm called to do that quite a bit. And I just like, my gosh, that is so cool. That is so cool that they want me to speak, even though they know I don't believe what they believe. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
what an honor that is, whether
Yeah.
politically, religiously, faith, whatever it might be. And I show up, and again, I have to use grace and tact. Okay, I want to honor their audience. I don't want to, I just want to tailor it for them so that they can receive that love and that truth and that goodness. But I'm still me. But I just ask, for me, I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, guide me, tell me what to say, put the words in my mouth, prepare my heart so that I can connect with their heart. Yeah, I know I'm sharing quite a bit.
No, I love it. I think that's so important.
Yes.
No, I think it's so important. Look, it's what I'm loving about this entire thing is that, meaning the summit, is that there are some core messages that keep coming up. A lot of it is going back to center, remembering who you are and why you're doing this, and coming from an authentic place. The struggle is also getting to that authentic place and getting the quiet and getting the tools that help us all live more authentically and more aligned with who we want to be.
Yeah.
I have to wrap this up. I hate to wrap it up, but I could speak to you for hours, Jess. Okay, so close us out here, Jess. Tell us what you're up to. Tell us what you want to leave with the world. I mean, we'll certainly obviously be able to speak more, but you end us on this
Yes.
beautiful note.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen on the other end of this video. Thank you for being that you were called here. We know that you want to empower other women. We know we can only do, the doing comes from the being. And so we just invite you to just be at home in your skin, home in your heart. Welcome yourself home. Love who you are. Listen to your body. Because when we can be someone that we like hanging out with, that we're proud of, from that place of being, we can do so much for the world, and we can empower other women, because we can't give what we don't have. So if we have it, we can give it. And so it is not selfish to think and to go inward and to focus on who you are, who God created you to be, what your passion is, how beauty unfolds in your life. I mean, those are not selfish things. Those are actually very healthy conversations to have. And so, Paula, thank you so much for putting this together. I always
Thank
feel
you.
empowered by you, and love linking arms with you across the ocean.
Yeah.
Other women, and y'all can stay in contact with me over on the gram, over on Instagram at Jessica Shakir Beauty, and connect with me on my website. Learn more about the programs I offer at thebeautifulmindacademy.com.
Amazing. Jess, thank you. Such a dream to speak with you. Lots of love.
Love y'all.